clean that lab, you get out.
She deaf?
Mute, sir. She can hear you.
The thing we keep in there is an affront. And I should know, I dragged it all the way here.
What an extraordinary film. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What was the concept for this film that you wanted to bring?
Well, the idea is to create a story about love. Not a love story, but a story about love. Love, like water, knows no shape and breaks through every barrier and is flexible and gentle. And I wanted to make a movie that was sort of healing for what I fear is our times right now, which are times of division by ideology that is incredibly harmful. And if there's an epidemic of hatred, I think that we can try and create an epidemic of love.
Why was it so essential that it was almost like non-communication? Because obviously your central character, played by Sally Hawkins, can't speak, and the creature,
neither does the creature.
the creature has very limited ways to communicate. Why was that so essential as well to be the central
Because
part?
in love and understanding, words are very, very superfluous for me. I mean, it's about looking, it's about seeing the other. It's about understanding the other purely the first moment you perceive that person. You know, and I think love beyond words is more pure. Because words can tell lies, you know, but looks cannot.
This may very well be the most sensitive asset ever to be housed in this facility.
You may think that thing looks human. Stands on two legs, right? But we're created in the Lord's image. You don't think that's what the Lord looks like, do you?
This creature is intelligent, capable of language, of understanding emotions.
You've set this film in the early 60s in America, middle of the Cold War, a lot was going on. Why was that the right setting for this story?
It's a time of both false prosperity and huge division, which is very much like today. You know, we are in a moment in history in which I think we need to talk about these things, and 62 was perfect to talk about today with the disarming notion that once upon a time, in 1962, people start accepting to discuss tolerance, empathy, much more easy than if I said it on today. Because if I said it on today, it's too topical. So 62 is a very divisive time, and a divisive time is ideal to put a love story against.
Makes you sadly think things don't change very much in human history.
They don't,
keep
but they do.
repeating cycles.
Yeah. No, they do. It's a pendulum. It swings. It never stays one side. But I think that we unfortunately understand our dialectic exercise is dual, good, bad, black, white. And the reality is, I think the ideal state for mankind is to accept that we are neither black nor white. We are gray, all of us. There's not such a thing as purely good and purely bad. Yeah. It's mostly good and mostly bad.
Just talk a little bit about the technical part of this, because you've created this incredible creature with Doug Jones, which you've worked with many times. What were the challenges and what did you want to... I mean, we feel so much for this creature. I mean, obviously it was less CGI, more an actor in there, right?
It was a physical suit with physical makeup. To create and fabricate this creature took 3 years. 2 years of design, 1 year of fabrication. And obviously Doug is the only actor that I would trust with this role. He has a unique physique, yes, but he also has a unique heart. And it's an incredibly giving, beautiful human being. And that comes across in his performance. And there's a grace and a majesty to the way Doug performs and acts that nobody else has. And this creature is not a monster, it's not an animal, it's a divine, it's an elemental god from the Amazon River. So he needed to have that majesty and that grace.
I can either save him or let him die.
Don't do this, Eliza. Don't do this.
When you saw this story, what leaped out at you?
Well, it's funny because I was, told that I was going to have a meeting with Guillermo, and it was going to be like a 30-minute coffee, and breakfast. And we ended up being 3 hours, and we only talked about the movie the last 5 minutes. And he said, I wrote this part for you. I'm not going to tell you anything about it. I hope you like it. And let me just tell you, I've seen every movie Guillermo has executive produced and directed. Okay, every.
Yeah.
And he's one of the titans, and he's a person that I wanted to work with. So to have him say, I wrote this specifically for you. I was going to do it if it was just me standing in and being a microphone. You know, I would have been the best microphone. But it was humbling, and it's such a beautiful film.
And you have such a pivotal role because you're in many ways the voice, aren't you, of Sally Hawkins' character, because she can't speak. So you have to speak for her in many ways, don't you?
It's funny because at work, Eliza's mouthpiece is Zelda. At home, her mouthpiece is Giles.
Yeah.
And I think it's beautiful that Guillermo set this movie in 1960. And when black people were getting their rights, obtaining their civil rights, and gay people, you know, still only recently just had the whole civil rights struggle. So it was interesting that he chose our two characters representing these different disenfranchised people. That's the other thing that I liked about the script. There were so many things going on, and yet you can't get away from the love story.
What is Guillermo like as a director? Is he very like, I mean, does he rehearse a lot? Does he, you know, is the script set, or is there, you know?
No, the script was a work in progress.
Wow.
I mean, it was pretty much there, but we would find things. He gave guidance on certain things, but he was a different director to each of us in the rehearsal process. It was very interesting now, looking back and you know, talking with each other, how different he was. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
He's a wild creature. We can't ask him to be anything else.
Where is it?
Sit down! Finish the job, son.
Eliza, honey, he's coming for you.